Get ready, PumpTalk Nation. The news cycle is absolutely exploding, and we've got the inside track on stories that are shaking things up across the globe. We're diving headfirst into a world of devastating natural disasters, thrilling reality TV twists, incredible personal journeys, and crucial conversations about justice. You do not want to miss what's coming your way. Stick around, because this is PumpTalk News, and we're bringing you the updates that matter, faster, and hotter than ever before. Our first major story takes us to Sudan, where a catastrophic landslide has tragically claimed over 1,000 lives. We'll explore the harrowing details of this devastating event and the desperate search for survivors amidst overwhelming destruction. Next, we're heading down under for a deep dive into Australian Survivor. Get ready for a breakdown of the latest episode, featuring surprising strategic moves and the fallout from intense tribal councils. Plus, we'll unpack some behind-the-scenes drama about the show's controversial rule changes. Then, we'll hear a powerful first-hand account from a Hurricane Katrina survivor about her journey to a new home and an unexpected reunion. Finally, we're tackling a critical discussion on civil discourse and the ongoing Jeffrey Epstein case, focusing on the voices that need to be heard most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat. 1,000 lives lost, one survivor found. This is a stark reminder of nature's raw power and humanity's resilience in the face of unimaginable tragedy. A devastating landslide in Sudan's Mara Mountains has resulted in the deaths of over 1,000 people, with only a single survivor discovered so far. This catastrophic event, triggered by days of relentless rainfall that saturated the ground, has buried homes and entire villages, leaving a scar on the region. The Sudan Liberation Movement Army has confirmed the grim death toll, emphasizing the urgent need for immediate international attention and humanitarian aid. The sheer scale of destruction makes rescue efforts incredibly challenging, with many still feared trapped beneath the earth. This disaster strikes at a time when West Africa is already grappling with unprecedented flooding, displacing hundreds of thousands and overwhelming infrastructure. Climate change is increasingly being cited as a factor exacerbating these extreme weather patterns, making communities more vulnerable to such devastating events. Experts are calling for a concerted effort from regional governments and international bodies to bolster disaster preparedness and community resilience. The lone survivor's story, while a miracle, starkly contrasts with the immense loss, underscoring the critical need for sustained support, including rebuilding homes, providing essential supplies, and offering crucial psychological aid to those affected. The ongoing flooding in the region further complicates recovery efforts, hindering the delivery of aid and access to the hardest-hit areas. This tragedy in Sudan serves as a critical call to action, highlighting the urgent need to address environmental and humanitarian crises in West Africa and to build a more resilient future in the face of a changing climate. As the world reels from this devastating loss, we're shifting gears to a different kind of drama. Get ready for a deep dive into the strategic chaos and unexpected twists of Australian Survivor. Survivor Showdown, Blindsides and Rule Bends. Australian Survivor. Australia v. the World delivered another electrifying episode, but could it top the intensity of the previous week? This installment saw a less dramatic, more predictable outcome, largely due to a critical misstep by contestant Lisa. Despite her declaration to fuck them up, Lisa's fate seemed sealed after being deemed guilty by association by fellow player Parvati, especially following her involvement in a blindside plan that didn't quite go as intended. Luke, another key player, also expressed concerns about Lisa's strong alliance with Siri, leading to her potential exit. Before her departure, Lisa managed to showcase a range of on-the-bottom tropes, creating a memorable and humorous montage. A particularly amusing moment occurred when Lisa's suggestion to Luke that no one would take him to the Final Four was humorously turned back on her, with both acknowledging they'd never sit at the end together. Lisa's attempt to leverage Parvati's paranoia against her was unsuccessful, unlike Janine's successful appeal to Siri to eliminate Sarah. It raises questions about how much Lisa's admiration for Siri, a fan favorite since her time on Survivor Game Changers, influenced her gameplay. Siri and Janine found common ground in their shared experience of being voted out sixth, prompting Janine to question the mechanics of leaving the game without votes. Lisa, realizing her game was likely over, focused on positioning the game better for Siri, though the exact method remains unclear, but she's expected to be a strong advocate for Siri on the jury. Parvati appears to be the frontrunner, given her significant screen time, but she has alienated several jury members who seem to favor Siri. This could lead to a surprising upset if Parvati's jury management proves insufficient. The episode confirmed Parvati's bluff with her knowledge is power advantage, a move that led to a remarkable display of trust from Luke, who revealed his idol to Parvati and convinced her to destroy her advantage. This pact suggests both might reach the final four, with Luke currently on a winning streak, having secured 2 consecutive immunity challenges. Host Jonathan LaPaglia noted that only 5 major players remain with 2 episodes left, including the finale. LaPaglia also expressed dissatisfaction with having to inform Lisa about the consequences of quitting, specifically her ineligibility for the jury. Executive producer David Forster clarified that producers have the authority to change rules, even mid-game, to maintain show integrity and prevent strategic quitting. This revelation sparked debate about consistency in game rules and the potential for producer intervention to alter outcomes, drawing parallels to similar dynamics in the U.S. version of Survivor. From the strategic depths of the jungle to a journey of survival and hope, we're now focusing on a deeply personal story of resilience. Prepare to be moved by a Hurricane Katrina, Survivor's unforgettable experience. From rooftops to reunion, a Katrina survivor's journey. This is a powerful testament to the human spirit's ability to find hope and build a new life against all odds. Melva Trask, a survivor of the devastating Hurricane Katrina, shares her harrowing journey from being stranded on rooftops in New Orleans to her eventual rescue, describing the rescue itself as a more arduous ordeal than the storm. Her unexpected arrival in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, marked the beginning of a new chapter, filled with an unforgettable welcome that transformed her life. Melva recounts being aboard a cargo Navy plane, expecting to land in Texas, only to find herself in an unfamiliar location in Arkansas. The initial reaction from the 135 evacuees upon hearing "Welcome to Arkansas" was one of dismay, a sentiment that momentarily dampened the spirits of the welcoming party. Now, years later, Melva recounts these memories with a mix of laughter and the lingering pain of those 6 days, 3 spent on a rooftop and 3 in the remnants of her home. She describes the moment of rescue as the most challenging part of her experience, even more so than the storm itself. The Pine Bluff Convention Center became a sanctuary, a place where she found immense comfort and support from the local community, describing the people as the best people I have ever met in my life. However, the relief was overshadowed by the agonizing uncertainty of her children's whereabouts. The thought of her missing children would often break her resolve, sending her into fits of crying. With the help of dedicated volunteers, she eventually learned they were safe in Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, though obtaining confirmation was a difficult and lengthy process. A pivotal moment came when she encountered the same man who had initially welcomed her to Arkansas, who informed her that Governor Huckabee was present. Seizing the opportunity, Melva approached the governor, pleading for assistance in finding her 8 missing children. Governor Huckabee's reassuring words, "If you don't go to bed with your children tonight, you will wake up with them in the morning," provided a beacon of hope. True to his word, Melva was reunited with her children and grandchildren by the following morning. 2 decades later, in a heartwarming turn of events, Mike Huckabee reached out to Melva, sharing a personal message recalling their shared experience during Katrina. He fondly remembered her grace and the warmth of Arkansas's welcome, expressing his joy that she had found a new, fulfilling home. Melva Trask continues to reside in Pine Bluff, proudly calling it her home, a living testament to resilience and the profound impact of kindness during times of crisis. While we've heard a story of personal triumph, our next segment delves into a critical discussion about justice and the voices that are too often overlooked. We're examining the ongoing fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein case and the vital need for civil discourse. Epstein Files, centering the survivors' voices. There's a palpable sense of frustration as renewed attention on the Jeffrey Epstein case seems to bypass the very people most affected, the survivors. While political maneuvering, prurient curiosity, and the potential revelation of prominent names dominate media headlines, the crucial perspectives of those who endured unimaginable abuse are being sidelined. This week, survivors are set to meet privately with members of the House Oversight Committee, with potential for public testimony, yet their criticisms of the administration's handling of the situation appear to be falling on deaf ears. One particularly galling instance highlighted is the recent interview conducted by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, which many observers felt allowed Ghislaine Maxwell to largely whitewash her actions. Blanche, who was not part of the original prosecution team, failed to challenge Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker, when she claimed never to have seen underage women being abused, even seemingly feeding her lines when she faltered. It's unsurprising that a convicted criminal would deny wrongdoing, especially with an appeal pending and the possibility of a transfer to a more favorable correctional facility. What is deeply concerning is the apparent disregard for the survivors' feelings by the Justice Department and the administration when releasing the video and transcript of this interview. Furthermore, Maxwell's transfer from a Florida federal prison to a minimum security facility in Texas, shortly after this interview, without any official explanation, raises serious questions about potential quid pro quo, particularly in relation to statements made about Donald Trump. Maxwell's carefully worded remarks about Trump, praising his presidency and stating she admired him, seemed strategically crafted to appeal to a specific audience. The Trump administration's review of the prosecutions reportedly did not involve consulting with any survivors, a stark contrast to the Biden administration's handling of Maxwell's trial, which featured Maureen Kamei, daughter of former FBI Director Jim Kamei, as the lead trial lawyer before her unexplained dismissal from the Trump administration. A nonpartisan rally on Capitol Hill is planned, bringing together organizations dedicated to ending human trafficking and supporting survivors. Rachel Foster, co-founder of World Without Exploitation, emphasizes the critical importance of this rally, stating that survivors who have suffered decades of harm have been omitted and silenced for too long. Their aim is to articulate what true justice means to them, not leniency or pardons for perpetrators, but accountability. Former federal prosecutor Mimi Rocca echoed this sentiment, criticizing the DOJ for further traumatizing survivors by providing Maxwell with a platform for falsehoods and potentially jeopardizing future sex trafficking cases by orchestrating such a travesty of justice. The question of why survivors are ignored in such high-profile cases points to a potential politicization of justice, particularly concerning the Trump administration's offer to release Epstein files without prior consultation with survivors. Just as Epstein showed disregard for his victims, and Maxwell continues to do so, the administration and its Justice Department appear to be mirroring this indifference. This week marks a significant moment as numerous survivors are expected to speak out publicly, demonstrating the power of community, solidarity, and courage. Their voices, long suppressed, deserve to be heard and amplified. As we wrap up this intense news cycle, let's take a moment to quickly recap the biggest stories of the day. Stay tuned for a rapid-fire rundown of everything you need to know. That's all the news for today, PumpTalk Nation. We covered a devastating landslide in Sudan, the strategic twists of Australian Survivor, a heartwarming Katrina survivor story, and a crucial discussion on the Epstein case. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more updates, ring the notification bell, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. You can also follow us on all our social media channels for even more content. We'll see you next time.